way the world is now, the leadership has changed. And the things that when I was a kid that were most important, they're not there anymore. And so now, the role models, leadership, there are not a lot of Dr. Martin Luther King's running around anymore in today's time and age. All different people in the world were accepting of what his dedication was to the world. I just want them to say that he tried to give his all to make sure that he provided a path for people who couldn't provide a path for themselves. And the things that he said and the things that he done have all come to surpass, and it's been a bunch of change, but it all started with his leadership. We think that the veterans have a very compelling story to reach our young generation, and he's actually, the post in himself and some of the leadership, veteran leadership in South Phoenix has actually stepped up to actually help me put that program together. And it's called Veterans Reach to Teach, veterans who served our country, now serve our classrooms. Our mission is ensuring every student and every veteran gets a chance to cross the finish line. We have another program that's called Hero Zona that we actually are partnering with Novoba and partnering with Nielsen and Senator McCain has been a big advocate to support us to make this the largest job fair / procurement for veterans in the country, along with some other support from Brian Sperber from Phoenix International Raceway and our mayor of the city of Phoenix, Greg Stanton. Marshall Franklin and myself, maybe about 2 or 3 years ago, and we actually saw what happened in Baltimore. And at the time, Marshall was making a transition from the airport to the police department. And one of the first things I suggested, I was like, why don't we put on some kind of forum or summit to make a difference? And she was like, not a bad idea. So we actually, put our thoughts together, and we actually pulled it off with the support of people like Mike Johnson, who is former city councilman and a retired police officer. And we actually kind of sat down in the room along with my partner Aaron Bear and kind of figured out what are some of the things that we could do to make a difference. And we structured this thing called the Bridge Forum, and now it's become a major piece of content. This people from other places in the country actually want us to bring this content to their state. We actually took it to my hometown of Louisville, Kentucky, had a great turnout, and we're actually in a partnership now with Thurgood Marshall and with Nielsen on rolling this thing out across the country. We think that this is a way to create a conversation and create some dialogue that's positive, and we be more in a proactive role than a reactive role. Well, we initially started the backpack drive maybe 4 years ago, Phoenix Tools to School, and we had tried different places to put it. It was something that started with me and Mike Johnson when he was in his final year of being a councilman, and I went and sat with him and Clovis Campbell and some other people, and then they was like, hey, you ought to think about moving it to the American Legion post 65, and I went over, and that's when I talked to Prince. Prince has been knowing me since I was a kid because he used to live in Louisville. So when we got to talking, I was like, hey, this could be the cornerstone. I think the American Legion post 65 is the cornerstone of one of the cornerstones of the South Side. I'm here to be solution oriented and to be proactive, not reactive. And my ultimate goal is just want everybody to help everybody fulfill their dreams and fulfill their goals. As I say, teamwork makes the dream work. I've had some great mentorship since I've been here. I was able to cultivate a relationship with several gentlemen who make a big difference in the state. I've got mentorship from Andrew Cohen from Levine Investments, who sits on the aviation board with me, who's become a big brother and a role model. Mr. Ken Kendrick, who owns the Arizona Diamondbacks, who is like a big brother and a mentor to me. And Art Hamilton, who is just has been exceptional in giving me leadership and understanding some of the things I need to know about the community, on down to the Clovis Campbell and the Arizona Informant being very supportive and showing me how you integrate and make a difference in the community. And I think that goes back to my testimony earlier, is who you surround yourself with is who you become. How did he overcome some of those obstacles internally to make him just, regardless of the rhetoric that was out there and, some of the physical and, verbal abuse he took for his leadership, I mean, how do you, just keep getting up every day when people try to knock you down? I would say thank you for everything you've done to create a pathway for leadership from decades after decades and tenures after tenures. I just want to thank you for, being out and taking the sacrifice, making the ultimate sacrifice so others can follow in your footsteps. Thank you, Dr. King.